Hey everybody, welcome to the newest edition of TMC on Air. I'm your host, Mia Voss. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce my friend, TJ Sullivan. He's somebody that I admire so much in business and also for his snark and sarcasm.
And my killer Oscar comments.
Exactly. He's also a best-selling author and award-winning speaker, and I think you're best-selling, so that's what I have to say.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In the self-published world, I suppose I'm best-selling. I don't know.
Exactly. Welcome to the show, TJ Sullivan.
Coming to you live from the guest bedroom.
Yes.
So if you come and stay at my house, you get the brass bed. I'm just saying, it's like a big deal.
You're just ready to throw down any second, aren't you?
Well, you never know what bedroom you're going to need to use, and so we have a bed in every room here. The one in the kitchen is sometimes inconvenient, but that's all right.
Exactly. You never know when you may have to jam. So, TJ, you are the owner of Campuspeak, and a business that I am so in awe of. Tell us about it and tell me what you do.
Well, mostly I just wanted to start a business that nobody could spell. That was really my goal, They're like Campus Speaks, Campus Steak. What is it? Yeah, Campus and Speak, but with just one S. So campusspeak.com. Yeah, about back in the 90s, I was traveling with a guy talking about HIV and AIDS on campuses across the country, and experienced a lot of success with that and had a lot of fun and really learned how to do that business well and how to speak to college students and how to build a following within the college circuit, so to speak. But then by '99, I was just over it. I needed to get off the road. We were traveling like the Stones or something. It was crazy. So I needed to get off the road and figured, what the hell do I know how to do? And the thing I knew how to do was to bring speakers to college campuses. So started with a buddy of mine. We started an agency. When you think of an agency, a speaker's agency, most all of them are located in Los Angeles or New York, and they're very agenty and very, darling, I'm here to call you. Let me tell you what's going on, like Estelle from Friends, right?
Right.
But we decided to do it here in Colorado and to bring sort of the laid-back Denver mentality to it, and it's gone really well. We're now the largest college speakers agency in the country, largest agency just working with colleges. We do nothing but speakers. We have about 55 speakers who speak for us all over the country. Any given night, during the school year, one of our, 5, 6, 7 of our speakers are out there speaking to 10, 20,000 students in some auditorium on some campus somewhere in the country. And so it's a really cool business because we get a real chance to shape lives, really encourage positive messages being put out to the next generation of leaders. And by the way, we get to work with college students and really cool people all over the country. So it's a very niche business. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody looking to compete with us because it's not a very wealthy business, but it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of great times with it, and of course I still travel and speak on campuses about 50 times a year now too. So.
What's the and I love how you took your experience from being on the road and you flipped it, which is amazing. Which is why another reason why I love you in business is you took what your experience was and then flipped the script and made it into something where you could then replicate it and get other people on board. Tell me about some of the subjects that you all speak on, that your speakers address at the college campuses.
Well, I tell you, it changes every year because people come and go out of this business quite quickly, as you can guess. Our top speaker has been speaking about impaired driving for 12 years, 13 years. A guy who, when he was on spring break in college, got into a car on, drunk with 3 of his friends and killed a couple of them. And somehow that has been our #1 program. We have lots of folks who speak on fraternity and sorority issues, health and wellness, body image. We just brought on a young woman who survived the Virginia Tech massacre, and she's going to talk a lot about how to, what to do when terrible things happen on campus, which unfortunately these days, just last week we had that mass stabbing out at Lone Star College down in Texas. So all kinds of issues. Just everything you can imagine that college students would hear about outside of the classroom is what we do. And so it gives us a chance to always have new ideas, new things going on, which keeps it exciting for my staff. And we're always going to have things like alcohol and diversity and things like that, leadership, clearly. Mm-hmm. But it gives us a chance to bring on some different stuff like this Virginia Tech thing. We're bringing on a young woman who just started an incredible charity called Headbands of Hope. You can go to headbandsofhope.org. It sort of uses the Tom's Shoes model, mm-hmm. where they market these headbands for young women, and every time you buy one, they give one headband to a little girl who's fighting cancer and who's lost her hair. I mean, just amazing things like this. This young woman's 23 years old, and she's, she wants to go out and talk to students about making a difference in the world right now, not waiting until your career is established or whatever. Go out and do it right now. So that's the kind of stuff I get to promote, and it feels pretty good getting up in the morning and knowing that I'm helping to put some of these kind of things out there and in people's minds, and clearly social media makes that so possible now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're able to, there's some things obviously that stay, all the time, but you can also address, the issues that are constant, but address things that change, ebb and flow. And I bet that's how I always ask my guests of how social media affects them. I mean, you can totally stay on the pulse of what's going on, and then there's always someone, I'm sure, that can address that particular subject.
Yeah, well, social media is pretty much the way students have things come to them.
They're the ones who started it, so.
Yeah. Even Facebook is like something your grandmother does now. I mean, to a certain extent, it's amazing how fast, the way students consume things changes. I mean, the new hot thing right now, I don't even know whether it'll be a year from now, is the Snapchat thing, which seems a little sketchy to me. But well, I'm also 44 years old, so I'm like, why are you sending naked pictures of each other to each other? But it's evolving.
A little MySpacey.
Yeah, whatever happened to good old-fashioned text messaging of the sexy pictures, But no, I tell you what, I'm almost 45 years old and been doing this a while, and having to make sure I'm always on top of things and staying current with what college students are doing definitely keeps me young. I think I'm going to be the youngest dead guy when that happens ever, because I just have to stay sharp. Because the minute you don't stay relevant and stay focused and figure out how the hell to use Google Hangouts, for God's sake, the minute you stop doing that kind of stuff, the minute you become irrelevant. And in my business, if I'm going to be irrelevant, I might as well look for another line of work. So. Well,
we'll just call ourselves the old hens of social media. Exactly. Cluck, cluck.
Cluck, cluck, damn it.
Cluck, cluck, MF. So I know there's a lot of people I run into that everybody's got something they want to talk about and want to be a public speaker. Yeah. Tell me about that. Tell me what that experience is all about to become one.
It's amazing. We actually I get inundated. Everybody, regardless of what their profession is, there's always the question that everybody wants to ask them. If you're a flight attendant, do you have friends in every port, or whatever they ask. For me, that they want to. Oh, I want to speak. I could speak on college campuses. I have a great story. And everybody thinks it's because they think that they're so interesting that the whole rest of the world would find them interesting.
I have a noise for you. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot of people, people who are not people who are not mortified of speaking in public think they could be doing what I'm doing, which is fine, but it's not as easy as it seems. And it's, the hard part is not getting up and talking to people. It's getting the opportunity to be invited to do it and then getting paid to do it. If you want to go out and do something for free, if you want to go, fix people's houses for free, there's lots of people who will have you do it. If you want to get paid for it, you have to be competitive. You have to be really good at what you do. You have to put out a quality product. And so speaking is exactly the same thing. If you're not putting out a good product, nobody's going to give a damn. So so I get lots of people who say they want to speak, but when I say things to them like, do you have something that's worth $4,000 for 1 hour? They're like, wow, and I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna make enough to live on this thing, speaking for a living, you got to have something that people want to pay that kind of money to listen to, so.
Right. You suggest that people go and do some free speaking in the beginning to hone their craft and get the experience down. So I bet you have to balance it between the people who don't have really something but want to get paid right away, and then the other people who they don't even want to do the practice; they just want to get the money. Right.
Well, it's funny because we actually started something called the College Speakers Academy with Campuspeak specifically for this purpose, because everybody wanted to call and take an hour and a half of my time saying, so tell me how I can become a college speaker. And I needed to have this thing where I could say, you know what, instead, how about you spend a little money, come spend 2 days with us, and we'll tell you everything we know, and that's
so smart. So, anything that you can replicate and just let it be where you're not saying the same thing over and over again is.
Yeah, and it also weeds out the people who aren't serious. If you're serious and you really think you could be a college speaker, well then let's come for 2 days and let's figure it out. Where I'm going to give you my most honest feedback and everything I know, and you see if it's right for you. It's been great. Clearly there's a lot of do's and don'ts in any business, and college speaking is no different. If you want to do it right, you can't piss people off. You can't look like a douchebag every time you open your mouth at a conference. You have to go to conferences. Lots of things like that. Like any other industry, it takes a long time. I tell people, don't think that you're going to become a speaker and make anything for at least 2 years. I mean,
right.
Now
and
maybe
you can be a douchebag all you want if that's what your platform is and people are paying you, but until then.
It's one thing to go and speak to the local church group or to the local Rotary Club, the local Chamber of Commerce. All those things are awesome, and people can do that right now if they have something valuable to share. But the people who are in that audience are not paying big dollars for that and aren't expecting it to be at the highest quality. So you can go in there and just share your story for 20 minutes and really, know that you're doing something great. And that is awesome. People who are doing that, Toastmasters, all sorts of different things, fantastic. I'm talking about people who want to send out contracts, make money, promote themselves, those kind of things. If you actually want to make a significant portion of your income by being a professional speaker, then you better be in it for the long haul, and you better do it seriously.
Speak on it, sister.
Sometimes the people who don't do well in this industry of speaking on college campuses are people who think it's going to be easy.
I'm sure that's the majority of them too, of the expectation. That's the easy one. All right, let's talk about you real quick.
Okay.
Motivating the Middle, your book.
my book. Finally, I wrote a book. Every speaking of douchebags, every douchebag has a book, right? But yeah, mine's actually doing pretty well, so I'm pretty happy. I guess speaking for 20 years professionally and having a lot of people who have who have suffered through me for an hour at some point in their life. Did well for the book, but it's called Motivating the Middle. It's about fighting apathy in college student organizations. It's a book for college leaders, and it's doing really well. We just crossed over the 10,000 copies sold since November of 2012. So it was really cool actually, because I just here we are in April. I just did my taxes, and the book did pretty well in its first year. So Uncle Sam is pretty happy about that too. So that was.
Good, honey. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Got to write a nice fat check for that. So it's been a lot of fun. And
all I can say is, if you buy something, don't put the box out on the street, okay?
Yeah. But I'm still so stupid about it. I'm still logging on to Amazon, every Friday to see how it sold, And like 2 weeks ago, it sold like 3 copies the whole week. So I was like, oh, wah wah, And then last week it sold 135 copies. So I'm like, which was the best week ever. So it's crazy. It's just, writing a book is a stupid, insane thing to do. But for me, it actually helped boost the number of invitations I got to college campuses. So
it's total credibility.
Made sense as a promotional tool. Sure, if you're writing some book just because you want to get something off your chest and you think the whole world gives a damn, you might be disappointed. So.
Well, and this is too. That has an educational component to it as well. So it's not just you kind of like, listen to me, what I have to say.
Yeah. I write a blog also at tjsullivan.com, and for college students, and I try to make sure I'm not putting myself in it too much, because frankly, college students, they're interested in you, but essentially they're mostly interested in themselves and their life and what's going on in their environment. And I'm 45. I'm their dad. For guys, I have a son who's a college age, man, even though he doesn't go to college. But let's not go there. Whoops.
My bad.
Anyway, yeah. How's Chuck E. Cheese? Yeah.
Actually, this is what he can say to you. Listen. Hold on.
What's that? I have no idea what that was. Was that Chuck E. Cheese saying something? I don't know.
No, I think that's what your son's going to be saying. I'm so glad it's doing well, though, sweetie. That's fantastic.
Yeah, the book's been a lot of fun. I need to write another one now. That's the trick.
Right, and that came out. Was that a year and a half?
No, it was November of 2012. So yeah, I need to have something else out. I think by Christmas of 2013, if I'm going to maintain the momentum. It's so funny. You always see these artists that put out a great first album, and then you're like, my God, why did the second one suck so bad? I think I understand that now, because the pressure
now
is
you're getting it.
Yeah, so kind of funny. So.
God, I'm an awful interviewer. I'm like, what, a year and a half? All right, so here's our moment when we do what are you bat crap crazy about, which I know you're just talking about this other business, which, you must, there has to be a ton of, you get so inspired by different people you run across, but who's your favorite bat crap crazy right now? A person, place, or thing?
Oh, can I? Well, I guess I could talk about The Following, that show with Kevin Bacon, which I'm like completely obsessed
Is it
with
good?
right now.
I haven't watched
But
it. Ooh, okay.
yeah, it's kind of dumb. Like it's got some problems, but I'm loving the concept. But okay, I was thinking about this morning because you said we might mention this, and I was looking around like, what am I watching? What am I doing? And then I realized I've had the same CD in my car for 2 weeks, and I listened to the same song over and over. So I want to tell the people who might watch this, go and find Brendan James on iTunes, and go download the song called Anything for You. And if that song doesn't blow your mind, and you're not playing it over and over and over, then I don't know. That song just blows my mind. It's like poetry. The guy's amazing, and he's through Denver all the time. He plays at the Soiled Dove, and I've seen him 3 times. And I'm kind of a huge fan of his. And I'm not a big music guy. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not a music guy, and I like music that like is very kind of like my age. I don't listen to rap and that kind of stuff. I just love this Brendan James guy, and he just had a thing on Kickstarter to pay for his next album, and he raised something like $35,000 in 8 days because he's got crazy fans out there. So go check Brendan James out. And
Yes,
Brendan, if you're watching this, you could call me. That would be nice.
Not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm promoting you. I don't hear you say anything about motivating the middle of the book. It would be nice to have a little love back.
Love back, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. You had 2 back crap crazies, and now I know what our next show that we're going to go see is when I get the email invite from you.
Oh no, dear. We're gonna go see, Foreigner or something down at Hudson Gardens.
Oh, that's right.
We like that '70s stuff.
Bitches.
We like pretending like we love seeing the retro shows, and it's really like shows that we actually know all the words to the songs.
I was just about to say, we're the 2 biddies in the back singing all the words.
Yeah. We're the only ones there without walkers, but hey, we have a good time.
Oh,
We're wine coolers and we're wasted.
Look for us this summer, folks.
Hudson Gardens.
Look, tip your bartenders and waitresses.
Yeah. Yes, please.
That's it for today. TJ, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Mia. You look lovely. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, darling. I love to be pretty in pink for you. DW. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks again, and look on. I will have everything that TJ mentioned and all the websites so you can look it up too. And again, thank you, TJ Sullivan.
Thank you.
That's enough for today. Have a great weekend.
Later, folks.
Bye.
Started an agency. When you think of an agency, a speaker's agency, most all of them are located in Los Angeles or New York, and they're very agenty and very, darling, I'm here to call you. Let me tell you what's going on, like Estelle from Friends, right?
Right.
But we decided to do it here in Colorado and to bring sort of the laid-back Denver mentality to it, and it's gone really well. We're now the largest college speakers agency in the country, largest agency just working with colleges. We do nothing but speakers. We have about 55 speakers who speak for us all over the country. Any given night, during the school year, one of our, 5, 6, 7 of our speakers are out there speaking to 10, 20,000 students in some auditorium on some campus somewhere in the country. And so it's a really cool business because we get a real chance to shape lives, really encourage positive messages being put out to the next generation of leaders. And by the way, we get to work with college students and really cool people all over the country. So it's a very niche business. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody looking to compete with us because it's not a very wealthy business, but it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of great times with it. And of course, I still travel and speak on campuses about 50 times a year now too. So.
What's the and I love how you took your experience from being on the road and you flipped it, which is yes.
So if you come and stay at my house, you get the brass bed. I'm just saying, it's like a big deal.
You're just ready to throw down any second, aren't you?
Well, you never know what bedroom you're going to need to use, and so we have a bed in every room here. The one in the kitchen is sometimes inconvenient, but that's all right.
Exactly. You never know when you may have to jam. So TJ, you are the owner of Campuspeak, and a business that I am so in awe of. Tell us about it and tell me what you do.
Well, mostly I just wanted to start a business that nobody could spell. That was really my goal, They're like Campus Speaks, Campus Steak. What is it? Yeah. Campus and Speak, but with just one S. So campusspeak.com. Yeah, about back in the 90s I was traveling with a guy talking about HIV and AIDS on campuses across the country, and experienced a lot of success with that and had a lot of fun and really learned how to do that business well and how to speak to college students and how to build a following within the college circuit, so to speak. But then by '99, I was just over it. I needed to get off the road. We were traveling like the Stones or something. It was crazy. So I needed to get off the road and figured, what the hell do I know how to do? And the thing I knew how to do was to bring speakers to college campuses. So started with a buddy of mine.
Hey everybody, welcome to the newest edition of TMC On Air. I'm your host, Mia Voss. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce my friend, TJ Sullivan. He's somebody that I admire so much in business, and also for his snark and sarcasm. And
my killer Oscar comments.
Exactly. He's also a best-selling author and award-winning speaker, and I think you're best-selling, so that's what I have to say.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In the self-published world, I suppose I'm best-selling. I don't know.
Exactly. Welcome to the show, TJ Sullivan.
Coming to you live from the guest bedroom.